Hi, how are you today? Despite this global pandemic that we're facing and all of its effects, I hope that you're having a fantastic day. As a matter of fact, you will have a fantastic day. And speaking about fantastic days, have you ever been having a fantastic day and then you hear something or see something that changes your entire mood and you wish you could just hit the unsee button or hit the unhear button so that you can go back to having your fantastic day? Well, that happened to me about 2 years ago. So I had a doctor's appointment. I went to my appointment because I was pregnant. I got my initial testing done. They did whatever screening they had to do. And then a couple days later on a Friday, I was having a fantastic day. I worked the entire day. I was productive. I didn't have a whole lot of meetings. And now that is a fantastic day for me when I don't have a whole bunch of meetings. And everything just seemed to go good. I had a good lunch, had a good breakfast, had good coffee. I mean, everything was going well. So I leave the office probably about almost 6 o'clock. And I look at my phone and I have a voicemail. And I'm like, this looks like the doctor's office phone number. So I listen to the voicemail. And the nurse is on the voicemail and she says, Shara, I'm calling you about your test results. Please give me a call back as soon as possible. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, the office is closed. I can't call her back. The soonest that I can get a hold of her would be Monday at my next appointment. What could she want? What could be wrong? And since I can't get a hold of her, maybe I'll just Google and try to figure out what in the world they screened me for in the first place. So I looked on Google and I'm looking up, okay, what do you get screened for when you're first pregnant? And so I found the list and then I'm like, well, what could be wrong or so wrong that she would call me and leave me a message and say, as soon as possible. Then I kept replaying that in my mind, like, call me as soon as possible. As soon as possible about my test results? What could be wrong? What is the issue? If it wasn't serious, maybe she would have just sent me a message through the portal, but the fact that she left me a voicemail and told me to call her, that suggests that maybe there's something critically going on. So then I Googled, okay, tell me all the women who went to their first initial pregnancy appointment, had their screening, and got a call back and had issues. And what were those issues? So then I'm looking at all these diagnoses that these women received from their appointments, and I'm thinking, is that me? Am I having issues? What's the problem? So I go into this whole just downward spiral. And mind you, I can't talk to her until Monday. So the entire weekend, I'm replaying all of the worst case scenarios in my mind. I couldn't even function. And finally, Sunday night, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I can't change this anyway, so I'm just going to sleep. So I went to sleep. The next day, Monday, I had my appointment. I had already previously told my mom that I had the voicemail. And so even though I felt like I had kind of conquered my anxiety a little bit, I was still nervous at the appointment because I felt like, well, what if she tells me something that I don't want to hear and I'm, and how will I respond? Would it be better for me just not to know than to know? And so my mom gave me that look like, look, you need to go find out what's going on. And she talked to me just like that, and she looked at me like that. And so I was afraid. And so I was like, well, all right, do I face my mom or go face the nurse? I faced the nurse, of course. So I went to the nurse and I asked her, I said, hey, you left me a voicemail saying that there was, you wanted to talk to me about my test results. What's going on? And she said, oh, Shara, it's just nothing. You have a yeast infection and you can just get some over-the-counter meds. And so I was like, wait a minute, huh? So you left me this voicemail telling me to call you back as soon as possible for something that can be treated over the counter? You had me lose sleep. You had me just going in circles and anxious and nervous and fearful for nothing. And then I stopped myself and I'm like, did she have me nervous and fearful and losing sleep? Or did I do that to myself? And I looked at myself and myself said, yep, you did that to yourself. You did that to me. Because I didn't guard my eyes. I didn't guard my ears. I was looking at things that fed into my fear. I was listening to things that fed into my fear. And some of those things I listened to were in my own mind. How many times do we allow fear and anxiety to rob us of precious moments simply because we were watching the wrong things or listening to the wrong things. I encourage you, be careful how much news you allow to be to allow in your life and listen to. Be careful what people you're around and who you allow to speak into your life, because some people are negative. Have you ever been around negative Nancy or negative, I don't know what the guy's name with an N, Nordo? I don't know, but a negative person who never can find anything positive, and then you walk away from them only to feel like it's the end of the world because they have spoke so much gloom and doom into your life. Be careful what you watch. Be careful what you hear. Fill yourself with positivity. Take time to be in the moment and realize most of the time the things that we're anxious and worried about are not as bad as we think they are. We only have a couple episodes of anxiety left. Of when anxiety attacks left. And then we'll move on to another topic. Like, subscribe, and if you have your own ideas or thoughts, put them in the comments. I'll read them and get back to you. You're going to have a fantastic day. Thanks.